Hello, I'm the Bunny Man.
And I'm Crazy Susie.
And we are in the Eyes of Terror. And happy holidays.
Merry Christmas and all that jazz.
Yep, the bell ringers are out. Everybody has that fake smile on their face and that holiday cheer, and everybody's bank accounts are running into the red. And all I want to see is their blood splatter all over the snow.
Okay then.
Yeah, I'm not in a happy, cheery mood. Trying to be, but it doesn't really happen. So we have a lineup of holiday horror that we're going to be doing. We're trying to get back on our schedule. We've had some upsets in our recent lives that have made things interesting at best.
Not in a good way.
No. Which we're probably going to be doing some, I guess, ranting channels or whatever, which we'll keep you posted if you're interested in seeing that. Just more, this is our lives type thing, because everybody loves to hear other people's, problems. Other than that, we do have a Teespring and a Redbubble. If you want to buy some of our merch, we have some Christmas stuff out, and some Yule stuff. We also have the majority of the illustrations out on the Redbubble. And then we do have the Patreon. We would appreciate all help that you can give us financially at this time. Things are just a little bit harder than usual, but we're not begging for money, and things will keep running the way they are. Just we're a little bit more strapped than usual, I guess. And it's just a personal thing, and just needs to be out there because we might sound a little bit more down than usual. So anything else on that? The financial or the support stuff?
No.
No? Okay. So we had a viewer, or a listener or whatever, give us a video that they did.
He is I want to get this correct. Just so everybody knows, this is actually not one of our normal recordings. This is a terror talk.
Yeah, I forgot to mention that. It'll be in the thing, in the title.
And the director and writer of this film sent it to us to review because we had done...
Oh, I forgot to also do What Are We Drinking?
We don't typically do that with this.
No. But since I brought it up, what are you drinking?
I actually decided to have a little bit of a splurge. I don't normally have alcoholic beverages, but I'm having a very, very, very small glass, maybe an ounce, of blackberry wine.
And I'm having a Taylor 20 port. Tawny. A port is a fortified wine out of the Dominican Republic, and this is a sort of on the cheaper end of it. I do have more expensive stuff, but I'm just finishing off this bottle because I've had it for several years.
Doesn't it get better the longer it's
Yeah, and then it's a nice little nightcap. So,
but we had reviewed Manos, The Hands of Fate, and so the director and writer of the newer Manos, The Rise of Torgo, sent us this film, which is supposed to be the prequel. The long-awaited, unexpected prequel to the 1966 B-movie legend Manos, The Hands of Fate has arrived. So we're not going to do what we typically do. We decided to do this in a terror talk because Manos, The Hands of Fate is a pretty well-known movie to be a B-rated film. And we really didn't want to
ruin this guy's work.
Right. We really didn't want to give everything away. So we really just wanted to, for one, say that we greatly appreciate David Roy sending us a copy and asking us to to say, what we felt about it. We enjoyed watching it.
Just for transparency, we're not paid by David Roy, or we were just sent a copy for free. That is the only thing. We were sent this back in October or the end of September.
Yeah, we've had it for a while.
We've had it for a while. We didn't mean to be sitting on it as long as we have, but it is a great time of year for that Manos fan, because I know there's one Manos fan out there that bought one of our shirts.
Yeah.
No, they bought one.
Yeah.
Torgo.
I know.
One of the Torgo shirts. So yes, we have a Torgo shirt out, and 2 different styles. Same sort of design, but just 2 different ways of wearing it. And that would be on our Redbubble. I'm probably gonna put it on our Teespring also. But so you could pick up this movie for yourself or a loved one for $19.99 off of their website, which is.
It is Manos, the Rise of Torgo.com.
And Torgo is Torgo.
Manos is Manos. So it's Manos, the Rise, Rise, of Torgo, Torgo.com.
COM.
You're being silly now.
Yes, I'm trying. So, alright, so I'll read the rest of it. Manos, the Rise of Torgo, tells the tale of how it all came to be. Fans of the original film, Manos, the Hands of Fate, will reveal in the ingenious tale that reveals the origin of the Master and expounds on how Torgo rises from disillusioned child to the position of caretaker in the realm belonging to Manos, the god of primal darkness. Ooh.
So I'm going to try not to really dwell on the one thing that really, really irritated me about this film because I like it so much. But there was something that really, really bothered me. The Master in this film specifically mentions, no, it's not Manos, it's Manos. So they kind of changed where the inflection is in the name to kind of separate it apart from the original film, which I get it, I do. And then, several lines, not just a few lines later, the Master himself, instead of saying Manos, he says Manos. I mean, he makes a point in his lines to say, no, it's not Manos, it's not Manos, it's Manos. And then, 2 or 3 lines later, he refers to himself as Manos.
Okay, so there's that out of the way.
It's infuriating.
Yeah. There's that out of the way. One of my sort of like...
And then they bounce back and forth the entire film.
One of my thing is sort of minor. I just don't like CGI effects on eyes because it doesn't look real. It's always bothered me.
It looks like they're high.
Yeah.
Like...
Yeah, it's always bothered me. So that's just sort of like a minor thing. Other than that, I mean, the set looks like exactly like it was back in the original film. The vehicles are of that period. The clothes, for the most part, from what I can tell, is of that period.
For the most part, I think they did a really, really good job. Their budget was around $4,500.
Yeah. And then, and half of that was probably spent on fried chicken and gravy. Because let's just say Torgo is a little bit bigger in this movie, and he likes his fried chicken and mashed potatoes
And ice cream.
and ice cream because, yeah, his mom.
Just be prepared to be hungry. Hungry when you watch this.
For fried chicken, mashed potatoes, and ice cream.
You're going to be wanting to go to KFC after you watch this.
So, as an origin film, I think it does really well. I think as a film, it works. And, I mean, it keeps in line with everything that we know about from the original film. So, and I think, actually, it surpasses a lot of it, of the original film.
Yeah, I think everything that needed to be explained was explained. You know, a lot of films we talk about how things aren't explained that should have been explained, and that's infuriating, and there's explanations that should have been expounded upon, and there were holes, and I really can't say that that's the case here, because things that need to be explained were explained, explanations were given, there really weren't any holes. You know, everything was filled in that should have been filled in.
I think the one thing that does sort of bother me is the goddess thing. Just that whole sort of weird person in the sky thing sort of always bothers me.
Well, I think
No,
for the budget that they had, that's how it had to be done.
No, that's just a personal thing because it just reminds me of like Monty Python to some extent, or you know, like I can't really take it serious. I think that's the
Right.
issue.
And I don't really think it's meant to be taken
No, I get that,
extremely
but
serious, because it's meant to be this surrealistic
yeah,
type being.
and I think
so.
what also was part of some. I just don't like like vocal reverbs because I have a hard time.
Yeah, it makes that kind of vibration in your head.
So other than that, I mean, those really are a few things. What you get on this DVD is a bloopers reel and Manos, the Revenge of Torgo preview, which I'm waiting for that one too, and we'll review it either if we have to buy it or whatever. I'll be more than happy to review it. Hopefully sooner when we get it.
We're going to do a more in-depth review next year. We just didn't want to spoil this one for anyone that's looking forward to it. So probably June or July-ish, this is going to be on our lineup.
Yeah.
We wanted to make sure that everybody knew that this film was available and how to get your hands on it, and that we found it very interesting, and
That you should go out and get a copy and support.
you definitely need to get a copy of it.
And I just want to say I do enjoy the cover art. There's some little issues I have, but I mean that's just that's just the inner designer of me just screaming at certain things.
Well, the only way you're happy with stuff sometimes is if you do it with yourself, and then sometimes you're not happy with it then. So
No, but the majority of it I do enjoy, especially the more with a fresher set of eyes. I do enjoy the artwork. So
I think the thing I really, really enjoyed about the film was it explained so much. It explained how he was conceived, and it went through his whole childhood, and it just really explained.
well, it even gives the origins of the brides and all of that. So
Right, it went through and it just explained everything. I mean, it gave an explanation for everything. Out of all the films we have reviewed for this whole year, it's probably the most thorough one we've ever reviewed. What
Yeah.
you say? One of the most thorough, as far as not really having any holes or gaps or anything like that.
Yeah. But I mean, again, this one was not really on our radar till we were given it, because it was just something we've never heard of. And the thing is we go out of our way and review really bad films that are like that. So, but other, for what, as holy and how strange the original one was, this one really cinched up a lot of problems that the original one had.
Mm-hmm.
So,
The thing I find interesting is I go on IMDb to get information for all of the films that we've ever reviewed. And I have never, ever, ever not seen some type of critique about a film, and almost always it's negative, because the films that we review are very bad films, or at least, the community typically views them as bad films. We don't, because we
there
we
are
like
some
them.
that there are, I don't think Abraham Lincoln versus Zombies was up there with,
It was pretty awful.
it was pretty awful.
I mean, there were parts that we thought that were really cool, but for the most part, it was pretty awful. As a whole, it was pretty bad. But this movie has no review.
And that could be because it's not.
It could be because it's just not been out there long enough.
Well, I don't think it's on any streaming sites. I don't think it's
for
readily.
people to know that it's
Yeah,
a thing yet.
It's not readily available. I think it's personal pressed. I don't. It's just one of those things that will, over time, probably
But the thing
catch
is,
on.
it would have to be in order to have a score.
No, well,
It has a score. So, but most people that do the review give it a bad review, is my point.
well. I mean, I don't know. I don't really know. I really don't. I'm not a big fan of IMDb, other than just information gathering. I don't trust the scores or anything like that, because there's plenty of them that I don't, that have high scores that I find to be crap. And there's ones that have really low scores that I'm like,
Yeah, but your Goosebump, The Mask, had like the highest score of any film that we've ever done, and you agreed with that, which I found to be obnoxious.
but that's nostalgia. That was literally nostalgia.
Okay. But 26 people scored it. That's what
Yeah.
gave it the score of 6.2 out of 10.
So I mean,
So
it's favorable.
26 out of 26 people, nobody felt it was bad enough to give it a negative review. And typically the reviews are negative. And if it's negative enough, someone will leave a nasty comment about it.
Well,
And the comments are typically like several paragraphs long.
yeah. And this one was one of the very few like historical films that I felt like, for the most part, it did really well trying to keep with the historical feeling. Because a lot of historical films, either you can you could pick apart, like when we did the Butcher of Plainfield, Ed Gein, the Butcher of Plainfield.
Yeah.
Like how unhistorically accurate that one was, or
Yeah.
just like it was just awkward, and that was a bigger budget film
Right.
with bigger names. So, I mean, this one works. So I just sort of went in this one off saying, go out there, support the independent director, and get your film today.
You can definitely tell that David had a lot of passion for the film.
Well, you would have
He
to for this type of thing.
put in a lot of effort just to make sure that all the finite details were there.
It's just, whoever thought of making a prequel to Manos? A film thought to be lost. until it was picked up by MSTK 3000. You know, that's the big thing. It was like, who would have thought to make a prequel or even a sequel to it? So, let's just finish.
I mean, he wrote it and directed it, so this is
Yeah,
his brainchild.
this is a passion project.
Right, and you could tell he had a lot of passion for it. So, but
get
we would definitely encourage everybody to get a copy of it and watch it, and let David know what you think about it. Let him know that we sent you guys to view it and to purchase a copy of it, because it is definitely worth owning, especially if you are a Manos fan. We actually went to our local block party this Halloween, and we saw a young man dressed in a Manos costume.
Torgo.
I'm sorry, Torgo. My bad. Torgo. It's at the end of the day and I'm ready for bed. But anyway, and I would have chased him down. And
if we didn't have so much going on.
Bunny Man was like, "What are you talking about?" And I was like, "There's a guy dressed up like Torgo." And he's like, "What are you talking about?" He thought I was going nuts, which, you know.
There was just a lot of people, and I had my...
Thinks that on most days, but...
I had my attention drawn elsewhere. So
we had our young niece with us, and our dog and everything, too. You know, the Luna's a handful as it is, but... I would have chased him down and got my picture taken with him, you know.
Well, you know, she was really good, and she knows how trick-or-treating works. So...
They both did really well, yeah.
But the Luna actually... So we had 2 buckets of you know, for our niece and our daughter, and Luna would go with them, and she would, as they would put treats in the bucket, she would look at one, and then she would look at the other one before they would put the treats in the bucket. Telling the person, this is how you do it, and then she would just walk right out of the exit path.
Right.
I mean, she really, as many people as there was, she was not a problem. She just...
Yeah,
she got tired, though, at the end of the night.
Which is a complete miracle with her, because she has extreme anxiety when it comes to crowds and people and...
But she was in protection mode the entire night. She was in her service dog mode. And the people who did give attention, she was okay with. So...
It's just our niece was not okay with it. She's nonverbal, and she screamed and yelled and had to love on Luna whenever after people loved on her, to let her know it was okay, that those nasty people weren't touching her anymore. And I would ask her if Luna was her doggy, and she would tell me yes in her sign language. And I would say, "You don't like when other people love on her?" And she would say no. And every time somebody would come up to Luna to love on her, she would and scream and wave her hand, and it was interesting. And I've been working with Luna and doing signs with her, so she'll know what the baby is saying when she's here. And we came to a crosswalk where they were letting traffic in. For the most part, downtown was blocked off to traffic. And the baby looked at Luna and signed to her to wait. And Luna sat down, which was just interesting, because you just wouldn't expect that to happen, because, you know, I had just maybe a week before that started working with Luna on signs. And it was like Luna had been with her whole life, and they had been, you know, learning signs together this whole time, and that's not the case.
Well, I mean, this is a dog that will look, before crossing the road, will look both ways.
But she doesn't normally sit.
No.
And the baby told her to wait, and she sat down like it was immediate. It's not like she paused and waited or anything. She just immediately sat down.
So
it was strange, but...
Let's move on into our next stuff. We'll watch those short. All right, so we have another viewer that sends us several short films. Short horror films. He does.
Well, they're not all horror based, but you know.
His name is Andrew J.D. Robinson, and he sent this towards Halloween. Halloween is not a great time for us,
And we usually are pretty booked up on Halloween.
so there's that. But so we reviewed them. Uh, you know, so the first one is Candle Cove. That's
The Silent Puppet Show.
yeah. Now I'm a big Candle Cove. I really enjoy the creepypasta and sort of everything that sort of came out of it, and even including the sci-fi series. I enjoyed that. Actually, I have a design that is a Candle Cove design on Redbubble. And I'm probably gonna put it on Teespring. This one is a 2-minute run time, maybe found on YouTube, and overall it just adds to the mystique of Candle Cove. Couple of you know young adults are talking about it, and they found that they've recorded it, and they put in and is all but nothing but snow. And then they were talking about the last episode, and they put the last episode in, and all they hear is screams. It just adds to the lore of Candle Cove. That's the big thing. Crazy Susie is not into that, the Candle Cove stuff, so it was hard for her to understand it.
It's not a creepypasta I've really gotten into, so.
And then the next one, again, is by the same guy. Another short, it's a 17 and some odd minute runtime.
It's a pretty long one.
Yeah.
It's about some missing kids that become missing at Halloween. Missing trick-or-treaters.
We know you are home is the name of it. And like I said, it can be found on YouTube, and it's a 17 minutes and 6-second runtime.
Okay. We know you are home. It's about some missing trick-or-treaters. 3 children, I believe it was. This young lady, she's younger, probably in her 20s, is asked to house sit. I suppose this is something she does usually. And she's told the address of the house, what the code is for the key lock box, and is given a set of rules. There is to be no company, and she is to stay on the main floor of the property. Mm-hmm. Kids knock on the door. It's Halloween. They're trick-or-treating.
Although there's a ban on trick-or-treating because of 3 kids missing.
Right. It says first there's a ban on trick-or-treating, but then it says this is several years later. Mm-hmm. So that part's a bit confusing. It's hard to know if there's still a ban or not.
I think it was just, but by the radio, what it was saying was that there was just people have lost interest in it because of that. It's sort of the effects of, let's say, like the candy apples with razor blades in it effect.
So the kids knock on the door. They're wearing sheets. And the girl asks them, what are you dressed up as? Who are you? Because they didn't have treat buckets to put their candy in. And when she asks them who they are, they hold up the missing kid posters with their faces on it. And that freaks her out, so she shuts the door. So because she's freaked out, she decides to put the candy bucket outside and puts a sign on it stating, "Not home, take one." They get angry with her. They keep ringing the doorbell. They scratch on the door. And she hears all the noise, so she pulls back the curtain. And she reads on the window, "We know you're home." She decides to go onto a different floor of the house, which this is actually breaking a rule. But no consequence comes of that, I don't think.
No.
And so she goes onto a different floor and thinks...
Well, because the electricity goes out, so she has to go find the breaker box.
Okay. So she ends up seeing something that's covered up with a sheet, and she thinks it's one of the kids, but it's not. It ends up being a cardboard cutout of Trump with a sheet thrown over it.
Again, I don't understand why there was a Trump cutout in the basement.
It was just ha-ha.
Ha-ha, yeah, a ha-ha moment. Ha-ha.
So at that point, the three kids actually do come inside the house. They point to a door, so she opens it. I'm not really sure how she got the key. I don't recall that part.
And the key sort of bothers me a little bit because it doesn't belong to that door handle.
So inside the room are their bodies. They're covered up with the same kind of sheets that they're using to pretend that they're ghosts with for their costumes. Inside the room, there are very loud sounds of flies. This I have a bit of a problem with because the smell of death
It's very distinct.
is very strong. She wouldn't be able to be in that house and not smell three rotting corpses.
It's a very unique smell.
Yes.
It's not something you will ever forget if you smell it.
Exactly. And you cannot go in a house where death is and not smell it. It's not like a rotten egg or a moldy piece of cheese on the other end of the house. I mean, a rotting corpse. Three of them especially, you're going to smell. Even if it's on a different floor in the house.
Yeah.
You're going to smell it. I mean, okay.
Unless it's like isolated. You know, like there's some sort of weird isolation. You know, like purposely whatever. But I mean, like some way that you can.
There was no barrier there.
No.
It's not like they wrapped it up in plastic and did all these things to barricade the odor.
Yeah, no.
It was just
no,
covered up with the sheet. Anyway, so she acts like she's going to call 911, but she doesn't. She ends up going out to her car like she's going to leave. The neighbor ends up calling the owner of the property and letting him know that the for rent sign that was in the front yard ended up in his yard. So the owner comes back to the house. He finds the lady in her car in his driveway. He knocks on her door and she talks to him. You find out that the lady that called her and initially set up the house sitting died a year to the day ago. The house was left to her brother, who is the gentleman that's talking to her, and
then she drives off and leaves him to figure it all out for himself.
the circumstances that the lady died under were very gruesome, and she died in the house. And the room that she unlocked with the key had been locked this whole time.
And he couldn't get it unlocked because every time like a locksmith would come, I mean, he would talk to the locksmith. He would always be busy with something. Something would always come up.
Right. So it had been this whole year. He had never had access to that door, yada, yada, yada. Well, she says, well, I think your sister's ready for you to have access to that door now. Here's the key.
Yeah, and then she drives off and leaves him there in the rain to figure it all out.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I'm not really a huge fan. I like the Candle Cove one. The Candle Cove one was fine, like I said.
So we were both on the opposite ends of the spectrum here. He likes the Candle Cove one, and I like the other one.
Well,
so.
the other one is fine. I just don't like certain artistic aspects of it, such as the really extreme close-ups. Not a big fan. of that. I know it's supposed to create like uncomfortableness and all that. It's just, but when you do it too many times, it becomes tiresome.
The only thing that I really don't like is the fact that the bodies being in the house and her not smelling
Yeah,
them,
not
and the whole
or
very loud.
or any of them, because you got to think he's also been there, so you can also assume that there's been no air running through the house or whatever, so it's been sitting there for a year because he can't rent it to anybody. So
He
it's
would have had to have the air on and everything.
well, but I mean that's not going to stop decomposition unless you live in like Antarctica. Like if you have it to the extremes, like a walk-in freezer. That's the only And again,
but the sound of the very loud
Yeah.
flies was not necessary.
and again is this director's this director slash writer, he tries to mix old and new together because a forgotten room is a old like aristocrat type thing. It was where you don't want if your kid is born with deformities, just put them in that room to
Yeah, like the flowers in the attic kind of situation.
Yeah. So it was just a very old concept, and again it leaves a lot of questions of like, how did the lady drag them in there? Because you don't usually have women killers. But I did like the makeup on the fingers and stuff. They look decayed, and I like that they didn't talk, and then they had the little posters of themselves, and so you could piece it all together. It's just overall, it was okay. It was okay. I don't like extreme close-ups, especially when you do it once or like multiple times through a short video. It's just my only thing. It's just so let's try to we're finally caught up on our Halloween stuff that we're supposed to have done.
Now we're going to be getting into the Christmas stuff.
Yeah, so
And we finally agreed on which videos we're going to do, because the ones we originally decided to do, we DC'd because we watched the trailers and I don't think we could get through the films because I couldn't tolerate the trailers. And I don't feel the point in wasting our time and y'all's time. And
but let's talk about things that are non-horror that we sort of enjoy about this holiday season. So I'll start. One of the things I enjoy, I do not like traditional Christmas music that you hear on the radio, but I do like lo-fi Christmas music, and just pure instrumental, no vocal.
I've been listening to heavy metal Christmas music.
Yeah, I could do that too, but I mean when I'm working, I do
it when I'm working.
Yeah, but I work a very mental job where you work a physical job. You don't have to concentrate on something other than trying to keep warm and dry and remember to ring the bell. Sort of things, I've never been. I
actually had a guy come up to me the other day and say, "You need to do your job." I was like, I wasn't aware that I wasn't doing my job.
Yeah.
The heck am I doing?
So there's that.
I literally just sat down in my chair and I was like, whoa, I must be, on a spaceship or something, because I wasn't aware I wasn't doing my job.
But I mean, to me, like the lo-fi stuff, it just makes it more bearable. I like hints of the Christmas music. I don't like overly Christmassy music. Unless I'm in a certain mood where that's what I want to listen to. But I always like the older stuff. Like some of my favorite Christmas music is like the Tijuana Brass Band on record. That's something I grew up with.
Mm-hmm. I like Dean Martin.
And you like Dean Martin. I like, to some extent, Bing Cosby.
Yeah.
I like those type of like singers because I don't like the Mariah Careys. I don't like the modern stuff. I like.
Nope. I'd rather get my toenails ripped out.
Yeah. So there's that. What are some Christmas movies you like? I know one.
Hmm.
I know one.
What?
A Christmas Story.
Shut your eye.
Oh, yeah. And we watch that every year. I think we have like 5 copies of that movie.
3.
3. I like the Grinch movie. Not, I like both the original and the Jim Carrey. Screw this new one. I'm not going to see it. I refuse to see the new one. I have no desire to see it. I'm done with. Stop making Grinch movies. I am protesting Grinch movies now. I can't believe
You're being the Grinch about the Grinch.
Yeah, I'm being the Grinch about the Grinch because I'm tired. I'm tired of everything being remade after being remade. I like the Charles S.C. Scott version of the Christmas Carol, and I like the Muppet Christmas Carol. Those are the only sort of like 2 Christmas carols I like.
I like Home Alone, the first one.
The second one's not bad. After that, they could just go away. I can't believe they made like 5 of them. We always got Die Hard. That's a look of. You know what? One guilty pleasure I really do enjoy.
Eggnog.
No, oh God, no. No, God. There's just I didn't even like dairy a long time
Milk and liquor gets there quicker. To the toilet to have vomit.
I would rather just have the liquor part, not the eggnog part. My mom likes that stuff.
I know, it's disgusting.
I can't do it.
She can have all of it.
No, one of my guilty pleasure movies is Jingle All the Way.
Isn't that what the Arnold Schwarzenegger?
Arnold Schwarzenegger and Sinbad.
How do I even know that? I feel ashamed that I even know that information.
I like Charlie Brown: A Christmas Story, or Charlie Brown's Christmas, or whatever it's called.
Of course you do. You like all the Charlie Brown movies.
Yeah.
It's not a Duma.
Busta. Boosta. I don't know. And I like a lot of the horror stuff, but I mean, I'm trying, that's not about a horror, but I like the classical horror stuff, all silent, like Silent Night, Deadly Night, stuff like that. I like getting our ornaments. I could really care less about the presents and stuff. It's the concept of, my favorite part about Christmas, to be honest, is the serenity, I think, and just like, I like the lights, if done right, that are really pretty. And I like, for once, for the most part, everybody seems to be getting along for once. I mean, if you take out the religious stuff and just go for, just be decent to everybody. I mean, I like that type of idea. I don't care for the commercialism and all that stuff. It's just, I like the idea of looking at something that's pretty. And so it's just, that's just one thing I really do enjoy is, the people who do put up the lights on their houses and stuff, if done right, it looks really good. I like some of the decorations and stuff, like with the lights on them and stuff. But I really just, I really like seeing that stuff. I mean, growing up, I grew up in the Midwest, so we had snow. So you would see that with the snow reflection. I really did enjoy that. I just like, I guess the more I get older, the more I just appreciate, the beauty of it all. And I think, with the modern technology that we have is really increasing that beauty, with like the lights and stuff. So I do enjoy that. But, I hate the costs of everything, go to somewhere to go see lights for $20, a person or whatever. That's just a little ridiculous to some extent.
Yeah.
And then the crowds of going into them, because I just want to spend time with the ones I love, and I'm not enjoying it as much being surrounded by everybody.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just being crowded. I think that's the one thing I hate about the holidays. Is literally just being everywhere you go, which is so slam packed of people all the time. You go to the store just to pick up something as innocent as like gummy bears. You have to fight in line to get the gummy bear because everybody else is getting other crap.
Mm-hmm.
You're now spending twice as long in a line to check out because somebody is getting 20 Barbies or whatever. It's just, that's the hard part of the year. And like I said, I don't like the expectations that we're having lately with you're a horrible person if you don't spend half of your yearly income on the holidays. And just the greed that has become of it. And in that aspect, like what Black Friday has become.
Yeah, I don't like any of that either.
I really feel like Thanksgiving, everything should be shut down forever for that full day. Till like 6 o'clock in the morning the next day. Everybody can wait to get their TV or whatever. And, have that one day, or I'm talking like the majority of everything. So, other than like absolute necessity type stuff.
Well, I was surprised to know that Walmart actually closes for Christmas Day.
Yeah.
But they're open on Christmas Eve. From the one by us is open from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. on Christmas Eve.
Because you have to get that last of that cash that everybody... Oh, crap, I have to go get presents, or I forgot pie crust, or... Crap, Christmas just came up on me. I'm tired of being inundated constantly with, like, holiday advertisements. I'm tired of radios playing holiday music the day after Thanksgiving. And it's not like in between, like we'll play one and then, like one song and then a Christmas song and then one. No, it's 24 hours, 7 days.
Yeah, I know.
This, the same 20 songs by 50 different artists. Could somebody come up with a new Christmas carol? I mean, that's just those are my biggest complaints about the holidays. And, it's...
And everybody's so... Either you have people that are really, really sweet and nice, or you have people that are so angry.
Yeah.
There's no in between. Mm-mm. I know this because I ring the bell for the Salvation Army. I'm right on the front line of seeing everybody that walks in the store. And I'm not ugly to people. I smile at people and I say good morning, hello, how are you?
Yeah.
I don't talk to people in harassing tones or anything.
And like the same thing at my job right now, they're just so stressed about like we have to make these sales, and I'm like, I get it, but I mean, it's not up to us making the sales, it's up to the consumer to buy this stuff if they want it. I mean, I don't know what else to do.
Right.
It's just the pressure of the year. It gets to me.
Mm-hmm.
And it takes a lot of that fun away for me when you're being pressured into this stuff, and it's like, we need more sales, but you don't see any of it. Like, you as a worker don't see any of it, other than you have a job for the next day, which is a good thing. But I'm just saying, it's like,
well, it's like everybody has been telling me, well, why should I give you more money? Because of course you want me to donate more money because you get part of that. The hell? they act like at the end of the day, I stick my hand in that bucket and I get to take some of that money and put it in my pocket
Well,
and go
it's
home with it.
it's the same mentality that people say when you work at a gas station or any sort of like forward-facing retail business. When you're talking to the consumer, I could get you fired because I pay your salary, I pay your wages. You pay for maybe like a penny or two, but I mean, it's just.
I like to see somebody try to get me fired because I'm one of the few people that are
Well,
doing it.
but it's not that. I mean, it's just
They can do my job if they want to.
It's the
They want to
fact.
try to get
It's
me
just
fired.
the fact that this is what we have ruined our society with the customer is always right type thing. And anybody who's ever worked retail or any of those type of businesses realize that the customer, the majority of the time, is wrong. So, but you can't tell them that. You have to give them everything that they want. Other than, in your case. But you have a higher risk of, like last year there was a slew of people getting mugged. Workers getting mugged. Their cows being taken and stuff. I mean, and although we're not real, of Abrahamic faith, that doesn't mean that we don't respect what the Salvation Army does.
Good work. They help people. I mean, I do that job because there are people in much worse condition and much worse situations than what I am. And I want to help people. I can't physically help people. I can't go and help move people or help, do whatever to help physically help people improve their situation because my body just won't let me do that.
Yeah.
But I can endure the pain that I have to endure to stand out in this crazy weather we're having in Tennessee because let's face it, Tennessee is...
Yeah.
Our weather is just
I don't know.
weird. That's why they say, hey, you're in Tennessee, wait a minute, it'll change.
Well, I can say that about any state, though. But we said that when I lived in Illinois. It's.
But anyway, I do that to help other people. Because they do good things. They help the homeless. They feed the homeless and clothe them. And I've seen it directly happen. That's why I do that. Not because I'm a greedy person and I want a paycheck and all this other crap. I could do other crap for a paycheck, but that job has meaning behind it.
I mean, it's just... I think it's just this time of year brings out the best or worst of people.
It does.
And, another thing that really irritates me, people who dress up their cars as reindeer.
I saw somebody in a truck when it had like 3 pairs of antlers on it.
Yeah. That type of stuff. I'm like, I get the spirit and stuff like that, but it just makes your car look stupid. I don't know. It's just each to each of their own, I guess. But
Well, I worry about if they roll their window down and don't think about it and it goes flying down the road and hits somebody's
somebody else,
car.
yeah. Or if that
about it
nose,
being a safety issue.
or if they don't have the nose or whatever on tight enough, it flies off. Or it's just like little things. I think actually some states have banned that type of stuff.
I worry about it being more of a safety issue, not, I mean, if they want to decorate their car, that's their choice, but I worry about it being more of a safety issue.
You know what else I don't like? I know this sounds weird. I don't like company forced cheer stuff. Like you're forced to participate in
30 Cent or something.
Yeah, or a white elephant or whatever, because I'm like, I'm here to work. This is what I do. I'm not here to make friends. I'm not here to be your buddy. I don't know you outside of work. I don't really want to know you outside of work, to be honest. I want to do my job. I want to get paid, and that's it. I could care less about the rest of the crap. I'm not a big fan of potlucks or anything like that, especially if I have to bring the stuff in. You know, you're spending your own money. And then maybe that's the thing I have a problem with. It feels like you're spending your own money to give stuff back to the company.
Mm-mm.
And now it would be different if it was like, if you had friends or whatever, you were with your coworkers in your immediate department or area that you're like, here's a present. I gave this to, like it's actually like you're actually genuinely giving it to somebody compared to being forced into it.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that's like I worked for another company a few years ago. We were forced into it, and there was a girl I didn't like, and I really didn't want to get her anything, but I was forced to give her something, and she did not appreciate it at all, and I knew she wasn't going to, and I think that was the thing that pissed me off the most, knowing that I was going to buy this. It was an okay thing. It was a nice little thermos. And I knew she wasn't going to appreciate it because she was just that type of a person. Nothing was ever good enough because she was used to a certain way of living.
Well, with the price limit that they had, nothing was going to be fabulous.
Yeah, and that's what. But you stressed out over far more than I did, and I was like, just get her this and let's just go, because I could care less. And like I said, I would rather have not have done that, been forced to do that, and it took half an hour out of my day. And I was just, and I was trying to cinch up things before the holiday break, and it just took half an hour out of my day that I could have just been doing something else. And I know that sounds horrible, but they're paying you for screwing around. Yeah, but it was just a very awkward situation. Especially when it didn't become a Secret Santa anymore.
Yeah. Oh, my neck is killing me.
So, those are my grievances with the holiday stuff. Oh, another movie I really enjoyed that we watched last year? Christmas Evil. I'm probably going to watch that again. That's going to be my rotation, I think. I actually genuinely enjoyed that movie, and I think he had a good cause.
Stealing toys, giving them to orphans.
Yeah.
I thought he drove his van off a cliff, though.
No, I'm just saying, like, the idea, not the delusion. The company was corrupt, so therefore he was...
Yeah, because they wanted the employees to pay for the toys.
Yeah. I think we're going to end this one.
Yep, I'm ready for bed.
Me too. So is the Luna. Happy holidays, whatever you celebrate or don't celebrate. And we'll see you in the next few episodes as we go through this year's Christmas horror movies.
Yep, the Ho 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 series.
Ho ho ho.
You don't have to worry about that happening. I don't like stains. It's too much blood.
I know.
The Luna can only look up so much.
I know. But give your loved one of our shirts, and they come in like hoodies, lightweight shirts, long sleeve lightweights. They come in a different type of coffee mugs, and
stickers. Luna stickers are very popular.
Yeah, and you could also get a shirt with the Luna on it, and then you could also get a shirt or a sticker with me or Crazy Susie, or you could get both of them and wear them like every other day.
I find that to be a bit scary.
And then you could get the Luna, you could get Crazy Susie, and you could get the Bunny Man shirts, and so you got 3 days of shirts there. So you got to Wednesday, so and you can buy 2 more shirts of ours.
Got some Christmas ones out, don't you?
Yep. I got Santa Claus in a spaceship. Sort of trying to do the retro vintage look. And then I have the Yule Goat from last year. And I'm working on another one that's more of a vaporwave feel.
You need to do a crow wearing an ugly Christmas sweater.
That's on there too. And I have all of our illustrations that I've done for the.
I thought you had a whole bunch of Christmas illustrations.
I did. I do. Digital ones. No, they're out there. It's just I'm saying like this is the newer stuff. I have an alien that says I believe. Christmas shirt.
Santa alien.
Yep.
I like that one.
So I'll be sending out an ad here in a couple of days on Instagram and Twitter and stuff like that.
Wasn't that my idea?
Yeah.
Santa alien.
And then, like I said, we got some normal stuff, and so we try to keep it unique. And we've been getting a lot of sales. I mean, we've been getting at least a sale a day. We really do appreciate it. So, and like I said, we're on Redbubble and on Teespring. So now there's a lot more selection on the Redbubble than there on the Teespring.
Yeah, because we just started that.
Yeah, and if you've never uploaded, it's time consuming.
Yeah.
So, and I only have so many hours in the day. We will scare you later.
Scare you later, guys.
Bye. Ho ho ho.